Essential herbs for racing pigeon health, a natural approach introduction. Hello fellow pigeon fanciers. Today we're diving into something I've been passionate about for over 20 years, using natural herbs to keep our racing champions in peak condition. I remember when I first started racing, my mentor old Jim would always have these strange smelling mixtures he'd add to the feed. Back then I thought he was just being eccentric, but those birds of his won race after race. Now I understand why. Many of you have been asking how to reduce dependence on antibiotics and chemicals while still maintaining healthy birds. The answer has been growing in fields and forests all around us for centuries. Let's explore how our ancestors kept their birds healthy before modern medicine, and how we can combine that wisdom with today's knowledge. Why natural herbs? Before we dive into specific herbs, let's talk about why this approach matters. Racing pigeons face incredible stress during competition. They push their bodies to the limit, face changing weather conditions, and encounter various pathogens. All of this takes a toll. Traditional medications work, no doubt about it. But they come with drawbacks. Antibiotics kill beneficial gut bacteria along with the bad pathogens develop resistance over time. Chemical residues build up in the bird's systems. Many treatments address symptoms rather than strengthening the bird's naturally. Herbs, on the other hand, often work more gently and holistically. They support the bird's natural immune systems rather than simply attacking pathogens. This means healthier birds in the long run, and better race results. Essential herb number 1, garlic. Let's start with what I consider the foundation of any herbal program, garlic. This humble bulb is arguably the most powerful natural medicine available to us. For pigeons, it's nothing short of miraculous. Garlic contains allicin, a compound with powerful antimicrobial properties. It helps fight bacteria, viruses, fungi, and even some parasites. But what makes garlic truly special is that it doesn't disrupt beneficial gut bacteria the way antibiotics do. I've been adding fresh crushed garlic to my birds' drinking water twice weekly for years now. The difference is remarkable: fewer respiratory issues, better droppings, and birds that simply look vibrant with those tight, healthy feathers we all strive for. Dosage is important though. I use 1 medium clove crushed in 2 liters of water. Too much can irritate their digestive systems. Some fanciers prefer garlic oil, but I've found fresh works best if you're willing to put in the extra effort. Essential herb number 2, oregano. Next up is oregano, which has become increasingly popular in recent years. Studies have shown oregano oil to be as effective as some antibiotics for certain conditions, particularly against E. coli and salmonella. What makes oregano special is a compound called carvacrol, which has strong antimicrobial properties. The oil can be quite potent, so it must be diluted properly. I add 2 to 3 drops of high-quality oregano oil to a liter of water once weekly during racing season and once monthly during the off-season. I first discovered oregano's benefits when my best racer, Blue Baron, developed a persistent respiratory issue that wouldn't respond to traditional treatments. A fellow fancier suggested oregano oil, and within days, the symptoms cleared up. I've been a believer ever since. If you prefer using dried oregano instead of the oil, add a teaspoon to your feed mixture after moistening it slightly with a few drops of olive oil to help the herb stick to the seeds. Essential herb number 3, thyme. Thyme works wonderfully alongside oregano, especially for respiratory health. It contains thymol, a powerful antiseptic that helps keep the respiratory tract clear. This is crucial for racing pigeons, as respiratory efficiency directly impacts performance. I add fresh thyme to my lofts, hanging small bundles in corners where the birds can peck at it if they choose. The aromatic oils also help purify the air. Additionally, I'll add dried thyme to feed mixtures during damp weather when respiratory issues tend to flare up. One particularly effective method is making a thyme tea, steeping a tablespoon of dried thyme in hot water, then cooling and adding it to drinking water at a ratio of 1 to 5, 1 part tea to 5 parts fresh water. Essential herb number 4, Echinacea. Moving on to immune support, Echinacea deserves special attention. This herb doesn't directly fight pathogens but instead stimulates the bird's own immune response. This makes it especially valuable during stressful periods like racing season or molting. I first add Echinacea to my program 2 weeks before racing season begins. The timing is crucial. You want the immune systems primed but not overstimulated when races start. I continue throughout the season, using it 3 days on, 4 days off. You can find Echinacea in tincture form, which is convenient to add to drinking water. I use 5 drops per liter of water. If using dried herb, a pinch added to moistened feed works well. One note of caution: don't use Echinacea continuously for more than 3 weeks at a time. The immune boosting effects can diminish with constant use. Cycling is key to maintaining its effectiveness. Essential herb number 5, Nettle seeds. Nettle seeds are something of a secret weapon in my loft. These tiny powerhouses are packed with nutrients, particularly iron and silica, which support blood health and feather quality. Remember, oxygen carrying capacity is everything in racing, and that means healthy red blood cells. During molting season, nettle seeds become a staple in my loft. They support the growth of strong, glossy new feathers that will carry birds through the next racing season. I add about a teaspoon of dried nettle seeds to each kilogram of feed, twice weekly during molt. The birds seem to recognize the value of these seeds. They'll pick them out first when given the choice. I've noticed significantly faster and more uniform molt since adding nettles to my program 5 years ago. Essential herb number 6, Fenugreek. For digestive support, Fenugreek is my go-to herb. The seeds contain mucilage, which soothes and protects the digestive tract. This is particularly valuable after antibiotic treatment or during recovery from illness. Fenugreek also stimulates appetite, which can be crucial during racing season when birds sometimes need encouragement to eat enough. The seeds have a distinctive maple-like smell that some birds find appealing. I soak fenugreek seeds overnight before adding them to feed, about a half teaspoon per kilogram of feed. The soaking process softens them and makes their beneficial compounds more available. I use this mixture once weekly during normal times and twice weekly during heavy training. Essential herb number 7, Aniseed. Aniseed supports both respiratory and digestive health. The volatile oils help clear mucus from the respiratory tract, while the seeds themselves aid digestion. Birds seem naturally attracted to the licorice-like flavor. I crush a teaspoon of aniseeds and add them to a kilogram of feed once weekly. During respiratory challenges or seasonal changes, I'll increase this to twice weekly. The crushed seeds release more of their beneficial oils than whole seeds. Many commercial pigeon teas include aniseed, but I prefer adding it directly to slightly dampened feed where I can control the dosage more precisely. Essential herb number 8, cinnamon. Cinnamon isn't just for baking, it's a powerful antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory herb that's particularly effective against fungal issues. A small amount of cinnamon powder added to feed during damp weather can help prevent aspergillosis and other fungal challenges. I use a quarter teaspoon of high-quality cinnamon powder per kilogram of feed once weekly during normal conditions and twice weekly during damp periods. The warming properties of cinnamon also seem to benefit birds during colder weather. Be careful not to overdo cinnamon, it's potent stuff. Too much can irritate the digestive tract. Start with less than you think you need and observe the results. Essential herb number 9, turmeric. No discussion of herbal supplements would be complete without mentioning turmeric. Its active compound, curcumin, is one of nature's most powerful anti-inflammatories. This makes it especially valuable for recovery after races. I add a quarter teaspoon of turmeric powder to feed for all returning race birds. It helps reduce inflammation from the exertion of racing, and supports overall recovery. For maximum absorption, I mix the turmeric with a few drops of olive oil before adding it to feed. One note: turmeric will stain everything yellow, your hands, containers, and potentially white feathers if spilled. Handle with care around your white birds. Essential herb number 10, milk thistle seeds. Milk thistle is the liver protector. Racing pigeons process a lot of metabolic waste during intense exercise, and the liver bears much of this burden. Milk thistle contains silymarin, which supports liver function and helps detoxify the body. I consider milk thistle essential during and after medication treatments, which can be hard on the liver. A quarter teaspoon of crushed seeds per kilogram of feed twice weekly helps the birds clear medication from their systems more efficiently. Even without medication, I use milk thistle monthly as preventative liver support. Healthy liver function impacts everything from feather quality to stamina. Creating your first herbal mixture. Now that we've covered individual herbs, let's talk about combining them effectively. Here's my basic racing season mixture that you can adapt for your own loft: 2 tablespoons dried thyme, 2 tablespoons dried oregano, 1 tablespoon dried nettle seeds, 1 tablespoon aniseeds, crushed 1 teaspoon cinnamon powder, 1 teaspoon turmeric powder. Mix these dry ingredients thoroughly and store in an airtight container away from light. Add 1 teaspoon of this mixture to each kilogram of slightly moistened feed twice weekly during racing season. For drinking water, alternate between garlic water and Echinacea tincture according to the schedules mentioned earlier. Never mix too many supplements in the water at once. Simplicity is key to ensuring birds actually drink enough. Observation is key. The most important tool in your natural health arsenal isn't an herb, it's your powers of observation. Each loft is different, each bloodline has different needs, and conditions change throughout the year. Watch your birds closely after introducing any herb. Look for changes in droppings behavior, changes water consumption, feed consumption, feather quality, overall vitality. Keep detailed notes on what works for your particular birds. What transforms one fancier's loft might not have the same impact in yours. Seasonal considerations. Herbs should be rotated according to seasonal needs. During molting, emphasize nettle seeds, fenugreek, milk thistle. During breeding, focus on garlic, aniseed, fenugreek. During racing, prioritize oregano, thyme, echinacea, turmeric. Winter maintenance might include cinnamon, garlic, milk thistle. Where to source quality herbs. The effectiveness of herbal treatments depends largely on quality. I source most herbs from organic suppliers and avoid irradiated products. Growing your own is ideal if you have the space and inclination. For dried herbs, check the color and aroma. They should be vibrant. Store them in dark glass containers in a cool, dry place to preserve their active compounds. Conclusion: I've been racing pigeons for over 2 decades now, and the shift toward natural methods has been the single most important improvement in my program. My birds are healthier, race more consistently, and seem more resilient against the challenges of each season. Don't expect overnight miracles. Herbal approaches work by supporting the bird's natural systems rather than forcing dramatic changes. Give any new protocol at least a month before judging results. Remember that herbs aren't a replacement for good basic husbandry. Clean lofts, quality feed, fresh water, and regular exercise remain the foundation of successful racing. Herbs simply build upon that foundation to help your birds achieve their genetic potential. Next time, we'll explore specific herbal formulations for boosting immunity during the critical prerace period. Until then, may your birds always find their way home swiftly.